Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of HP Critical, it's a podcast where my friends and I talk all things gaming. I'm Jerel, and I am joined by the one and only Brandon.
Yes, indeed. Hello, everyone. The one and only friend of this podcast.
For real, it's just the dynamic duo tonight. This is gonna be fun, gonna be quick. But since it's just us, Brandon, I get a little more time to talk to you. What you been playing lately?
Oh man! So since last podcast, I was mentioning that I was playing Advance Wars 2. I'm done with that now. I have finished both Advance Wars games. Both Advance Wars games are finished now. I've completed that collection. Obviously, there's a lot of like bonus content that you could dive into, but I finished the stories. I'm ready to put it down for now. I've had more than my fun with that game. And not too long after that, I picked up Pikmin, the original Pikmin, because they released 1 and 2 recently on Switch. And I finished Pikmin 1 in like 2 days. It is actually a very short game once you know what you're doing. And it was really good. Like I had dabbled in Pikmin before back when it was on the Wii, and I liked it enough back then. But for whatever reason, playing it here on Switch, it clicked with me a lot more. Like the adventure / strategy aspect of it, I had just really got into it, like into the zone. And then the reason why I finished so fast is just I got obsessed. Like in those last 2 days, I was just like, why the fuck am I not playing Pikmin right now? So I just kept going back to it. And for my credit, I think I got a knack for this series only because I got to the final area, and I remember someone telling me a while ago, it's like, oh man, so real quick for those who don't know about Pikmin 1, the premise of the game is that you have 30 days to recover 30 of your ship parts or you will die basically on this planet. So the game does have a time limit, but I was getting pretty good. I was getting like 2 to 3 parts a day, so I was like way ahead of the schedule. And in my mind, I was doing that because someone told me, oh man, for that last area where you get the 30th part, you need at least 2 to 3 days for 2 to 3 in-game days to get that last part. So I was getting myself ready. So I was like, all right, cool. I have 7 days to spare. I'm good. I did the last thing in 1 day.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, well, damn, I beat it way fast. I guess maybe I have an knack for this series. So yeah, I love Pikmin 1. I have already started Pikmin 2. It's just because I enjoyed it so much. I just couldn't wait to get to the second one. And I'm also trying to polish up Miles Morales before Spider-Man 2 comes out. So wish me luck on there. I'm definitely going to platinum Miles Morales. I don't have time, but I want at least roll credits.
That reminds me of Persona. Like, the way you describe Pikmin reminds me of Persona. You know how
Pikmin 1 specifically actually has a lot of similarities to Persona. You do have to like manage your time effectively to make sure you're getting parts, and you can reset. Here's the thing, like that sounds stressful, but you can reset days whenever. Like you're not locked in that day. Like if you had just like a really shitty day in Pikmin, you could just rewind the whole day and just do it over. You can even go back several days. The only count, like let's say you're in day 7 and you realize, damn, that day 4 was just the foundation that messed up all these other days for me. So you can go back to day 4 even if you're in 7. However, you will have to do 5 and 6 over again. You know, yeah. So you can go back as far as you want or just redo that day. So it's not as bad as I'm describing, but you definitely do want to manage your time. Like if you really don't feel like you did enough that day, you can reset it. But no, I enjoy Pikmin 1 a lot. It's definitely has a lot that can be improved upon, which I'm sure later games did. But the first one's very charming. Very charming.
Good. I never played it, so I knew there was an appeal to Pikmin, but I had no idea about anything until you just told me. I've learned about Pikmin right now. Like that your explanation is my Pikmin.
Yeah. I know some people can't get into it because the Pikmin are very cute. And
they don't always kill them all. Like that's
you don't kill them. You don't kill them, but your decisions can easily get them killed, and then you have to like live with that.
Yeah, my knowledge of Pikmin is that like don't get attached to them because they will most likely all die. You got to do what you got to do. What if I was considering trying to do Miles Morales, but just don't think I have the time. I'm still trying to finish Final Fantasy 16, so.
Well, Miles Morales is not that long a game, but it also is Monday, the week. I mean,
the Monday before the Friday of the release.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not concerned about playing 2 at launch, I mean, you could just chip away at Miles and then play 2 whenever you're ready, I suppose.
I don't think I will. You know, I usually like to. We have time to go off on little tangents here. It's just the two of
Yeah,
us.
let's do it.
I
Do it.
usually like to buy games so that I don't forget that I want to play them, which is really bad practice because I know that I'm not going to play them when they originally come out, and I could totally get them later on when they're on sale. And I'm thinking I might end up doing that for Spider-Man 2 because I haven't played any of the Spider-Mans. Not the first one, not Miles Morales, and I own Miles Morales. But I mean, when I'm at my day job, like I'm working and I'm thinking like I just want to go home and play Octopath 2. Like I'm still on Octopath, so like
Yeah.
I don't think there's any, I don't know if it will be something considered for game of the year. I don't know if it's something that I need to like play immediately. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that it's gonna be. I mean the previews and early scores are really really good, but I feel like we knew it was gonna be that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm gonna be missing out and I should just play it quickly or if I should just finish what I have on my plate. Because next year is all about Princess Peach Showtime and Final Fantasy VII like Rebirth. I'm dropping everything for those two games, so I'm just like,
Yeah, no, those are pretty big and important games.
I'm just trying to
They come
finish.
out so close together too.
Yeah, and I'm happy. I'm actually happy that there's both of them because, like how do you? I guess we'll talk about it a little bit more since we're already talking about it. But I go through gamer fatigue if I play the same game too much.
No, I get that.
Okay,
get that
great.
too.
I'm not alone.
I definitely get that. I actually just came back from a little bit of gamer fatigue. Like I was in a mood where I just wasn't really wanting to play a whole bunch of stuff besides like casual stuff. I just got out of it now. I'm back in my mood of trying to complete games. I will say that list that I made on my personal Twitter where I'm like completing games, it does create like an addiction to want to finish more games, and which is a nice cyclical way of like keeping yourself motivated. But then of course it backfires because you're like, oh my god, I got so many games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say that it never causes burnout because it's like sometimes it just straight up does, but other times it motivates you. So it's got that little duality going for it, I suppose.
Yeah. Like I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 with the partner, and that game is huge. Like it is so big, so massive, and it's a very slow game. So like what I mean by that is everything in that game is voice acted, and it's done really really well. So that makes you not want to skip through any dialogue. But when you're talking to like an ox that talks really slow because you used your speak with animal spell, and like you listen to everything it has to say, and then you have 5 options to choose of like dialogue, and then you want to go through all of them because you don't want to miss anything, and then you just spent 25 to 30 minutes talking to an ox for no fucking reason. That is me playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, that's what happened to me back in the day when I used to play the Star Wars Knights of the Republic games, because same developers as the original Baldur's Gate, everything was voiced, and so you didn't want to skip the dialogue. Yep. Now you could skip alien dialogue because alien dialogue was just kind of like the reused voice files. They're not speaking English, but the English ones, it's pretty much unique stuff all the time. So you just want to hear it, and then if they have like a line of dialogue that's just basically giving you information, it's like, oh man, what is this person going to say about this incident?
Right,
and then
you got to do them all.
Like, you got like, what does this character have to say about this crime lord? Or what does this character have to say about this crime lord?
Yep.
And it's just like everyone has different opinions on it. You just want to hear them all. It's like that's where your time comes in. Like the game itself probably wouldn't be as long if we weren't doing that.
Yes.
But we like this.
And
what can we say?
So
we're RPG fans who love our story.
Yeah, and it's so good. Like like I went to yesterday. I was playing yesterday, and we were like on a mission to go save some people or whatever. Like I don't want to spoil anyone, but we were on a mission to save some people, and my bag was kind of getting full, excuse me. And if your bag gets full, you get encumbered and you walk slower. And I don't like walking slower, so I was like, all right, let me go offload all this stuff that I'm not using. Let me sell it. And he had just also done like the same thing, so he went and sold his stuff. So I went to the same person he sold his stuff to. And I happened to have a different conversation with that person, and it turned into a full-on side quest of like completely different things that he didn't get at all just because I said one different thing. So now we have a
Wow.
whole new side quest added to our thing that is very significant to the overall plot that he completely missed. And I was just selling stuff,
Unbelievable.
and that is so cool to me.
That is
Like,
awesome.
I just said one different thing than he did, and it turned into an entire, like, a whole thing that now we have to do that we would have completely missed. And there's already stuff that, like, we've missed. Just, I know there's a ton of stuff that we've missed. Because, like, I've seen online things that people are doing, and I'm like, I don't even have that option. Because, you know, I spoke to the wrong person or said the wrong thing. But it's so, so cool. So I'm loving that, and I'm enjoying that. I'm not having burnout from that, but going from that back to like Final Fantasy 16 or Octopath 2, even though I want to, sometimes it can be kind of hard to transition into like this linear story and the action based combat where Baldur's Gate 3 is like turn based spells that I'm casting in D&D, and I play D&D every week, so it's very familiar to me. And then I went back to Final Fantasy 16, and I was just like, damn, what's happening right now? Which
Yeah.
the game does have a really good way of, you know, talking about what's happening. You can go and speak to people and recount what's going on. But it's I just don't like I wasn't in the FF16 mood after playing Baldur's Gate. You know what I mean? Like you're just not in the
Oh, I
mood
know exactly
to.
what you mean.
Yeah, it's rough, and I've been loving the Pokemon DLC. Like I just got back into Pokemon recently. I don't know why. I think it's because we were doing Pokedoku every day, which
Yeah.
is like made me want to play Pokemon more. So now I'm finally doing stuff in the DLC. I'm catching a brand new team to play with. So doing all of that and then just shifting back to something like FF16, like I feel like I should have finished it already, so it kind of lost its. I was on momentum, like I was like, oh, this game's great, I'm going, and I stopped. And getting back into a game after losing that
After you stop.
momentum
Yep.
is
Yep.
so rough.
Yeah.
And I
Once
have
you've passed
no
a week,
idea
that
what to do.
momentum has grind to a halt. It's not impossible to get back to it. It's not impossible, but man, once you've crossed that threshold, it is so hard to get the ball rolling again.
Yeah,
Especially if the game has a lot of controls to it.
and we have so little time. Like, we're adults who have lives and jobs and have to keep relationships with people and talk to them and go to work and all the extra activities. Like, there's so little time to devote to all the games that came out in 2023.
They keep coming out in
that
2023.
keep coming out. Spider-Man this week, so it's like you really have to decide.
Sonic is coming out soon.
Yes, yeah. You really have to decide what you want to play.
I was excited for Sonic Superstars, but I don't know if I'm gonna get it at launch, man. Because Mario Wonder and Spider 2 are coming out this week. Where am I gonna find the time to play Sonic Superstars 2? Like, I don't have it.
I still want to play Detective Raincoat Archive. What is it?
Detective Raincoat. I thought you were gonna say Pikachu, and then you're like,
oh, that's another one. I also want to play it because I never played the original. I know people have had some issues with it, but Detective Pikachu 2 or whatever it's called is also on my radar of like games to play.
Chrissy finished that in like 2 days. I'm just like, I shouldn't be surprised, but I also am. Just like...
To be fair, though, I don't feel like it's very difficult. Like, I feel like anybody can.
Oh, it's not a long game, and it's not a difficult game either. But yeah. So, we just got to do it, I guess, at some point. But yeah, Master Detective Archives Rainbow. I still haven't gone back to that. I don't know when I'm going to.
Yeah.
I want to at some point because I want to see how the story ends. But man, that last chapter did not do me any favors.
I haven't yet. Oh my gosh. But speaking of, games that we haven't played, we can talk about a console we haven't played yet.
What's the console we haven't played yet?
The new PlayStation 5 console. I mean, technically, it's just a PS5, but it's slim. And there's a PlayStation 5 edition and the PlayStation 5 digital edition. I'm going to talk a little bit about it from the PlayStation blog. It has a smaller PS5 design, comes with 1 terabyte of storage for both the PS5 and the PS5 digital edition. And the new model provides options to add an Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive to your PlayStation 5 digital edition. So you could technically, if you wanted to, buy the digital edition for cheaper, buy the add-on for the disc drive, and have a regular PS5. I don't know,
Hmm.
like, I don't know what the circumstances are that would make someone want to do that unless like you just like couldn't afford to get the original PS5, or if you just don't want the big bulky like side, or like sometimes I take my PlayStation to my friend's house. I would really like this smaller, slimmer PS5 without the disc drive that I can not take with me. I feel like that would be kind of cool. So this new PS5 is it has the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive that you can purchase separately, 1 terabyte SSD storage for more internal storage. It's been reduced in volume by more than 30% and weight by 18% and 24% compared to the previous models. There are 4 separate cover panels, the top portion and a glossy look, while the bottom remains in matte. So like it's separated for anyone who's not watching. It's like there's a there's like the regular PS5 faceplate, except for it's cut in half, and so the top is one style and the bottom is another. If you purchase the PS5 digital edition, you can add the Blu-ray disc drive later, which will be sold separately for $80, 80 US dollars. Um, it's coming in November. It'll roll out globally after that. Um, the PS5 with the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive is $499.99. The digital edition is $449.99. Which is the same price, right? 500 and 4.
440.
Yeah, 450 and 500. Are those the same price? No.
I thought it was 500 and 400 originally.
Yeah, so they're not the same price.
Yeah, it seems like the digital version is a little more expensive for the slim.
Is this after they already announced that they were raising the price? So I guess this is the result of that. Remember when PlayStation said they were raising the price of the PS5?
I
I think we
do
talked about
remember
it.
that. Yes.
I wonder if this
Yeah.
is a result of that.
Maybe this is what they meant actually. Because to my knowledge, the original models are kind of getting discontinued after the slim comes out. Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see if it says that. So to continue, the horizontal stand is going to be included with the PS5 model, but the vertical stand is not included. It is sold separately for $30. Dislike a
Hmm.
lot.
I dislike that too.
A variety of PS5 console cover colors for the new model will be available starting in 2024, including an all matte black, Deep Earth Collection, and Volcano Red, Cobalt Blue, Sterling Silver, the ones we've already seen. The covers will start at $55. Um, let's see. I think I remember reading all the specifications were the same, so I'm gonna skip that portion. It doesn't say here, but I do remember hearing that you are correct, Brandon, that they're gonna stop selling the original. I can't verify it, but I do feel like I remember hearing that, having heard that. Um,
Mm.
so we get a price increase, you get more storage on the inside, you get a new design, you get a smaller form factor. How do you feel about this, Brandon? Everything else is the same though, so it's not like if you already have an original PS5, you're not missing out on anything except for smaller form factor.
And I do appreciate that aspect of it. That it's not the pro model that some people are asking for, which I don't think is needed right now. But that's a different story. Yeah, no, this is a nice option for those who haven't gotten a PlayStation 5 yet. You know, it gets you it was also inevitable because Sony has historically kind of always done this with like their PlayStation consoles, made a slimmer model a few years after the original has come out. So this is not unexpected. So a nice slim model, so a little easier for people. Maybe that for those who weren't buying it specifically because it was too big, couldn't find space for it in their homes. That's a nice little incentive as well. Bigger storage is always a great thing. For my part, I got one of those SSD storage devices for the inside of my PS5, so I don't have to worry about storage
Did
as
you
much.
install it on your
But
own?
yeah, I did.
Was it
I
easy?
did. It was just very simple, actually.
Yeah.
Like I did open up like a YouTube tutorial just to like see. Honestly, the hardest part was just taking off the covers of PS5, like we the changeable covers. Just because there's like a certain trick to like getting them off. Once you've taken them off once, it's
Oh, it's super
extremely
easy.
easy to keep
Yeah. That first time,
afterwards.
but after, yeah, super easy after.
Yeah, that was the hardest part, just getting those damn covers off. As for then putting actual SSD in was so easy. You just need like a screwdriver, and it's like I'm not a very the technical person when it comes to like doing fixing yourself up jobs, but this was so simple. For those who got like the new Nintendo 3DS back in the day, it was as simple as like opening that up and like putting the micro SD card. If anyone remembers that process, which wasn't that difficult either. But no, it's very easy. It was very easy to do. But yeah, getting back to the Slim, yeah, I do like that. It's it's a nice option for those who haven't gotten a system already. They get a slimmer model with a bigger store with better storage, and for those digital owners, now they have the option to get a Blu-ray hard drive. Again, I don't see many people taking advantage of that. If they specifically made the choice to get the digital, there's not a huge amount of people who probably want the disc drive at all. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that the option is there to add it if they, realize they messed up, or like you said, maybe they just couldn't afford it at the time, or that's all they could get, and then they just wanted that option later. So cool. More options are better.
To be honest, price-wise, I don't think it makes sense.
No, it really doesn't.
Right?
It really, like, I really think that if you have any doubt whatsoever, if you're gonna use this drive, just get the disc drive one.
Yeah,
Like,
because
that's
the
just
separate
yeah.
disc drive is gonna cost you $80, and the Slim is only $50 cheaper than the one that already has it.
So you'll end up spending more money if you do this route.
You'll end up
You'll
spending
pay
a
for your bad decision
significant
making.
amount of money. Also, I've been
Yeah.
trying to get my PS5 out of this bag because I'm pulling a Brandon for anyone watching. When Brandon has something, he grabs it. So I took my PS5 out with me yesterday to play some games at a friend's
That's a
house,
beautiful coloring,
and
by the way.
thank you, and I haven't put it back up. I literally just took it back out of the bag. This is a hefty, chunky boy that I travel with. So considering that I could get something smaller than this and even get rid of this like bulk, because to be honest, most of my games are not physical anymore. The only time I'm buying physical is just if I'm buying collector's editions. Like, I don't think I've bought like a specific physical game for PS5 at all this year, unless it was a physical edition. And I haven't upgraded the SSD, which I wanted to do. And now that you've told me how easy it is, I'm gonna wait for an Amazon sale to do that, because I've been just deleting things off of here to fit stuff. But I don't think the Slim like, it's so strange because I kind of want to buy just the Slim version just to like have a second PS5 to use and travel with. But that also just seems like a really stupid waste of money when I have a perfectly fine PS5 here. But for anyone who is just watching me struggle to get this thing out of the bag, you'll understand how difficult it is to travel with this compared to like the Series S, which is like a much easier like square. But as far as this, I just don't. My opinion on it, I don't understand why it seems like they're just really trying to get money out of people with this. To me. I think it's a great idea, but like charging an extra $80 for the Blu-ray extension, when you're only charging $50 less, that's already paying too much money. And then you have to pay an additional $30 if you want to stand it up vertically. And I love that all the marketing
that I don't like at all.
All the marketing is this thing standing up vertically, right? So it's like they're showing you that it should be like this, but you're gonna have to pay an extra $30 to get it that way.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the fact that if you do decide to get the digital but then get the Blu-ray, it'll ultimately cost you more money. I think that's kind of a bad faith thing. Like it's like really punishing people for like making the wrong purchase decision, and it's like that just seems, again, bad faith. And but the stand is like, why are you doing this? Like, and the original one had it.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
And the worst part is that if you bought an original PS5, you got the stand for free. So if you buy one of these, you still have to spend an extra $30 over what I didn't have to pay. Like, that's crazy. You're spending $530 just to do what I can do, regular priced. I also don't like that they didn't make it. Well, I guess that makes sense. So never mind. I was gonna say I wish they would have found a way to make the current faceplate's compatible. I have 4 different colors. I have black, pink, blue,
Oh,
and purple, just because I
yeah.
did some trading with friends. And so they were $50 each. They're kind of expensive for just some cosmetic bullshit. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I didn't pay for most of mine. I just have really nice friends that we traded colors with. But
Well, yeah. But I will say, like, yeah, it is a little overpriced, but I definitely like the fact that it is, a lot cheaper to customize your home console than previous. Like if you like, I just remember the back in the days of the GameCube. I just saw all these like sexy ass colors for the GameCube. I was like, yeah, but I'm not buying
you
another
have to buy a
GameCube just
whole
for
new
that.
GameCube. Yes.
Yeah.
Want this cool
Whereas
color? Buy a whole
PS5,
new GameCube.
whereas PS5 just slip some covers on and you got your customized system, and I think that's nice. I
Yeah,
think
and
that's
they work
nice.
really well. Like we mentioned
Mhm.
before, once you do it once, like popping those bad boys off is so easy. And I
Mhm.
love how user friendly the PS5 is, that I can literally just pop it off, open it up, clean it out, do things that I never would have done on previous consoles. But that's a different conversation. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to praise them when I think this is kind of weird the way that they've done
Yeah.
this to make money off of people. But I've seen like prototypes of it. I don't know if what I've seen is true, but if it is, the size difference is very significant. Like I'm sure everyone will see it, but the size difference is worth like reconsideration. If I could sell my original PS5 and get a slim, I would probably consider it just because I'm someone who travels with my PS5. Like if I never took it anywhere, I wouldn't even be considering this. But this one actually right here, I can't show the camera, but the HDMI port here is kind, or maybe you can see it. It's kind of pushed out, so the HDMI falls out of my PS5 sometimes. Because I kept, traveling with it, pulling it in and out a lot. And so for me, like a smaller one, fixed HDMI, but then they tell me I gotta pay $30 to make it stand vertically, which is how I have mine stand all the time. Is yours standing vertically, Brandon?
No, mine's horizontally because of my
Okay.
setup.
Okay. So because of my setup, mine is always standing vertical. Like I don't have room to sit it horizontally, so I'm not paying an extra $30. Fuck that. Do you know what else I'm not paying for?
What else you not paying for?
Jack Skellington and Alan Wake coming to Fortnite. Not paying for that.
Oh yeah, I mean, what else can we say? Like that's it's more characters topical to the season coming to Fortnite. Jack Skellington, I guess I'm surprised isn't already in the game. I thought a previous Halloween would have gotten him in, but hey, cool, better late than never. Alan Wake is. It's not so much that I think it's surprising that Alan Wake is coming to Fortnite. That part isn't surprising. I just find it hilarious that these two are just coming at the same time. like they're both horror icons, or
Yeah.
maybe not horror icons, both Halloween icons, coming to Fortnite. Sure, that makes sense. But then, like, you got on one side the Disney Halloween mascot, basically, and then on the other side, Alan Wake from an actual horror game. It's like I just find it funny that just like they're coming at the same time. That's all.
I
But
think
yeah.
I think previously we were talking about staff layoffs and mismanagement of money at
They had to
Fortnite.
pay for that Jack
They
Skellington.
they had to pay for Woody and whoever
Listen,
else.
now Jack Skellington.
And now Jack Skellington and Alan Wake, and here we
Disney
are.
wants that money, man. Alan Wake probably wasn't that much, relatively speaking. Like Remedy probably didn't. Like Remedy probably didn't like a.
Go ahead.
Like
I'm
Remedy
sorry.
didn't probably. No. Like Remedy probably didn't put like a high price tag on Alan Wake, but Jack Skellington, you got to be kidding me. That's got to be expensive.
That's so funny. Like that is so funny to me. Like it's just like Disney. Oh, they had to pay so much money, and then poor Alan Wake. You're just like, that was cheap. They got that for nothing. Oh man, that's
Remedy's like,
hilarious.
no, please put him into Fortnite. We need the promotion.
Wow, Remedy's begging, and then Disney's like, pay us.
Yeah.
Rough times. So also we got the first trailer for Dragon Ball Daima. Daima, am I saying that right? Daima.
I think I would assume so.
Releasing.
I'm pronouncing as Daima, so yeah.
Okay, perfect. Releasing in
So-
fall 2024, about a year from now. So Brandon, tell me all about it. Good, bad? What's up?
I've had time to sit with the trailer for a little bit. Initial impressions weren't the most positive, I will fully admit, because I don't know, it seemed like the idea of everyone turning into kids seemed like a gimmick to me. Like just it did. And I just can't help but think about Dragon Ball GT, which also had the gimmick of turning Goku back into a kid for that particular arc. And I don't like the beginning of GT at all. Like I think GT got better later, which is a hot take if you talk to a lot of Dragon Ball. There's a lot of Dragon Ball fans who tell you that all of GT is bad. I personally like the end of GT. Like the last few arcs were fine. It's just early GT I absolutely despise. But that aside, yeah, everyone's back to being kids again, and it seems to be blending in from the trailer, blending in the kind of adventure spirit of Dragon Ball with some of the fighting with Z. I really hope that turns out well. A lot of people wanted just a continuation of Super, just straight up, because the manga of Super has continued past where the anime ended a few years ago, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, when are we gonna get these arcs adapted into the anime?"
Never.
And it's not happening. They're just literally doing this instead. So I was like, "What the hell?" I kind of wanted to see some of those arcs adapted, but at the same time, I've really had time to think about it. And they've clearly been working on this for a while because Super ended a few years ago. Like, I think pre-COVID, Super ended the anime. I mean, so they've been working on, and it's still not coming out until fall this time next year. So that's like almost 5 full years. I want to believe that they've had some time to really figure out where they want the series to go, so it doesn't feel as contrived and as samey as past seasons were. And maybe there's the way they'll do it. Depending on how they handle this, I think there's potential for some really fun stuff. But we were just going to have to see because, again, it is not the continuation that we necessarily wanted, but hopefully it's something we'll still enjoy nonetheless.
I'll give it a watch if you recommend it. That's pretty much where I'm at on it. Obviously, after you've seen it.
Sure.
So recently, Bobby Kotick said that Phil Spencer asked him to stay on as CEO of Activision Blizzard King, reporting to him, and they agreed that he would do so through the end of 2023 because, as we all know, the acquisition has gone through. We don't have to talk about this anymore. I feel like we've been talking about this on this podcast for over a year now. We're done. We don't have to talk about it anymore. But yeah, so one of those conditions that we talked about personally was that Bobby Kotick would finally be out after, the way that things were handled at Activision Blizzard King, which I will now refer to as ABK. The horrible way things were handled, the way that people were getting laid off, and he was still getting paid more money. And one of those things that was a brief highlight in this situation was that he was going to be gone. So for him to say that, Phil Spencer was like, can you please stay on? Not really a fan of this, but I will go ahead and read the email that he sent to all ABK employees. It says, "Team, today marks a milestone in our company's celebrated history. Seasoning combining with Microsoft will bring new resources and new opportunities to our extraordinary teams worldwide. It will also enable us to deliver more fun, more joy, and more connection to more players than ever before. This moment is possible because of our efforts over 4 decades to innovate, inspire, and achieve. When Brian Kelly and I began this journey in 1991, we intended to build a company that would have great impact and lasting value. Your tireless work and unwavering commitment to excellence enabled us to do just that. In the 1980s, we pioneered independent third-party game development with Pitfall, River Raid, and Kaboom. In the 1990s, we united the world with online multiplayer games like Mech Warrior, Warcraft, and StarCraft. In the 2000s, we introduced Call of Duty, which became one of the most successful entertainment franchises in history, still true today. We also introduced Guitar Hero and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which entered popular culture in ways few video games ever have. In the 2010s, we debuted Candy Crush Saga, which to date has been downloaded more than 5 billion times and contributed to our total worldwide players being 50% female." I will continue to read and not comment on that. Your dedication is what makes it possible for us to continually push envelopes, break records, and delight players. Amid the uncertainty of the last 21 months, you've remained focused, as always, on serving our players and supporting each other. I've long said that I'm fully committed to helping with the transition. Phil has asked me to stay on as CEO of ABK, reporting to him, and we've agreed that I will do that through the end of 2023. We both look forward to working together on a smooth integration of our teams and players. Brian and I couldn't be more excited on the next chapter of ABK. We now join one of the most successful global companies, poised for unprecedented opportunities to connect the world through our games. As a part of Microsoft, we will be even better together, Bobby. So, that's what he said. I know that the end of 2023 is already here. It's already October. I understand from a business standpoint asking the guy to stay for the next 2-3 months because it just makes sense. However, why? Like, I just feel like, personally, I feel like, and I don't know, but personally, I feel like somehow this is going to go into him getting some type of further severance package, or working through the year, or maybe there's a contract he has to deal with, or somehow I just feel like he's going to be stuck on longer than just the end of this year. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but to me, this is a bad sign. Like, it just feels like there's something behind it. It could be nothing, and I could be completely wrong. And he could literally just be out at the end of this year and just make the transition easier by having, a head of ABK to work through the transition. But he said he's answering to Phil anyway, so what's the point?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Honestly, it's pretty much everything you said. Like, obviously, I think everyone who is in the know about Bobby Kotick wants him to go as soon as possible. But realistically, for a transition like this to work, I just didn't think it was going to happen overnight, even when the ink was dried, because they got to find, I guess the other option could have been to make an interim CEO in the meantime while they worked on getting a new one, kind of like what they're doing with. Which is what they did with Jim Ryan. That's what's going on with Jim Ryan. Like, he's working, I think, until the end of this year. When we talked about it, working to the end of the year, and then they're gonna have an interim CEO for like a few months until they find the next one. Which even I thought that was weird, because if Jim Ryan is, I don't know how business politics work, but I feel like if the guy is leaving in like a year or so, why aren't you looking for the new CEO now? Why does there have to be an interim for that transition with this amount of time? With this time, it would have made a lot of sense. Just like oust Kotick, put an interim CEO for until 2024, and then get the new one in when you're ready. But as sucks as it is to say, like, Phil Spencer's a businessman. He probably thought that for the business thing to do was to just keep Kotick in for the smooth transition going to 2024. Like you and I, we both get it. Yeah. It just sucks. It sucks. And like you said, it is probably going to lead to him getting a greater severance package if he was specifically asked to say for the remaining months following the acquisition. So for those who want Kotick to like have a bad ending, I'm sorry to say that it's just not going to happen. If anything, it's just he's gonna get even bigger pay. Like, the only silver lining is that he, like you said, we're at the end of 2023 practically. We got 2 months left. He's going, so eventually he'll be gone.
We think,
and we can. Well, yeah, no, we could get into a Star Wars Revenge of the Sith situation where the Chancellor is like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll give power back once the war is over."
Exactly.
And then it becomes the Emperor, and then just doesn't go. So
forever.
Yeah. So if we get in that situation, obviously this is the worst case scenario. But assuming they're keeping to the word and that he's just out in 2023, well, it's not great, but it's the reality of the situation, and he'll be gone soon enough.
So, one more question about this before I move on to the last topic that we had.
Sure.
How do you feel about the acquisition finally going through?
Oh, yeah. I guess we haven't actually had to talk about the acquisition finally. It just feels like such a long saga. Like you said, we've been talking about this a year plus, just like the various developments of the story that just kept coming. Like, it just seemed like, I know Kelly was getting tired of it for a while.
Yeah.
When she was a regular.
Kelly and Gabe.
And it was Kelly and Gabe. I hadn't quite gotten to the point. It's like, I don't want to talk about this anymore, but I was starting to feel like, oh, another update, huh?
Yeah.
So it's finally over. No, like, my first thought was just like, wow, it really is an era, because it's just been so long that everything was going on with the FCC conflict. It's relief is more than anything. I'm just happy this is finally over. I was getting to the point where I just didn't care what happened anymore. Like, my initial thing, maybe people can call me out on this past podcast. Maybe I said something different. I don't remember. It's been over a year. Yeah. But I feel like my initial thing was like, ooh, I don't think this is good for the game industry. That seems like a bad acquisition. And then it just kept going. I was like, man, just to do it. Just take Activision Blizzard, whatever. Microsoft can have their advantage, I guess. Whatever. If it'll help them, like whatever. I just know that like some stuff has come out, like Elder Scrolls 6 is now being confirmed to be skipping PS5, for example. I know that some people were real pissed about that one, for example, but I think that was inevitable if it was buying all those. But that's Bethesda. That's not even relevant to this. I apologize.
I mean, technically, it's relevant because they are owned
I,
by Microsoft.
Yeah. Yeah. So excluding Call of Duty, which they explicitly said, yeah, that'll still be multi-platform. Everything
they didn't
else
say
is
for how long.
They did not say for how long. Correct. Like
They
for the
gave
time
them, like,
being,
a 7-year like option to at least go through PS5, and PlayStation was like, no, fuck y'all. So we don't know.
we don't know. I guess it'll come on Nintendo systems because that was part of that deal. So here's hoping that Switch 2 we've been talking about for a little bit can actually run a Call of Duty, because the current Switch cannot really, without it being a cloud version, which no one wants that, especially for an online game. But yeah,
I think this is.
I'm just glad it's over.
The end of something. I feel like this is the start, rather, of something really bad.
Oh, it very well could be. It very well could be, because it's just such a big company. It's like one of the biggest like companies out there.
Yeah.
Like for context, I would consider Activision Blizzard a bigger company than say Bethesda. But back in the days with when E3 was still, alive and well, Bethesda was one of the few companies that wasn't part of the big three that had E3 press conferences.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal when they got bought out.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Activision Blizzard, I think, is bigger, and it got bought out. It is, again, it is the house that makes Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. I think those are its two biggest franchises. And now
and
one of the
Crush,
big three.
Like, how many parents are playing Candy Crush? Like, they own all of us now.
They
oh my gosh, it reminds me of that meme tweet that was like, you are now acquired by Microsoft, like, here's a guide on what to do. That's how it really feels, and I do not like that. I don't like this at all. I feel like my biggest issue, I think, with this is that Microsoft hasn't shown us that they can handle company acquisitions. Like, it's been 3 years of company acquisitions and literally so little to show for it that was actually good and worth something. And then the promises that were made as far as Xbox and acquisitions were things like God, what is their launch game that wasn't a launch game? Halo Infinite. Bad. It did not come out the way it was supposed to. The next acquisition title, the big one that we were waiting on that was shown at E3, the Bethesda one with the vampires. Oh God, why can't I think of
Redfall.
Redfall came out bad. The other
Arcane. Yeah.
Yes, Arcane. Thank you, not Bethesda. Arcane. Bethesda, Starfield, not horrible, definitely not living up to any expectations that people have been looking for. Nothing that they've been able to produce so far has been on the caliber of something from an independent studio like Square Enix or I'm thinking Final Fantasy 16. I don't know what else came out. Anything that published by Nintendo, developed by some other company, has been, I feel like, quality wise, very good. They admitted what they did wrong with the Arcane situation. We're getting a new head of ABK eventually. Who knows how that's gonna make things work out. Overwatch has been an issue sometimes. World of Warcraft has been an issue sometimes. Like, I don't think that I think they have the money, but I don't think they've proven themselves to be able to make such huge acquisitions when they can't handle the smaller ones that they've already gotten. So to me, this is all just going downhill. They're talking about streaming. We got the rumor of how their next Xbox is streaming only. There's no disk drive whatsoever, and they want us to transition to something like Game Pass and just only streaming as an option. I think that's bad. That's literally what Xbox is pushing for. And if they get the opportunity to own something like ABK and force all of us to go that way, we're not gonna have a choice. Like I really feel like this is bad because I feel like they're literally forcing the gaming industry into playing a certain way, and that's the Game Pass model of gameplay. And I don't personally like it. Like I think we should have more player choice. I think we should be allowed to vote more with our money and our pockets, and I don't see that like how can we vote with our pockets on the way the next Call of Duty comes out, right? If it's just going to be on Game Pass and we're already paying for it. How can we talk about how we want Overwatch to be fixed if there's like just this battle pass that you get for free now on Game Pass? Like there's no incentive for us to do anything about it. I dislike that, and I'm not a fan of this acquisition. I think it's really bad for the industry, and I hope that Sony doesn't do some type of retaliatory acquisition. But that's the other thing, like all of the acquisitions that Sony has made, I feel like they've done a better job with games that have come out than Xbox has done.
That's very true.
You know, that it is what it is. The last thing I'm gonna say is that where is it? Dang it, I had it up. We got another message today that I'll just read out really quickly so we can get out of here. Because, you know, why not?
This message.
Pete Hines, after 24 years, I've decided my time at Bethesda Softworks has come to an end. I'm retiring and will begin an exciting new chapter of my life, exploring interests and passions, donating my time where I can, and taking more time to enjoy life. This is not a decision I came to easily or quickly, but after an amazing career, culminating in the incredible launch of Starfield, it feels like the time is right. This is certainly not goodbye by any means. My love of Bethesda and its people has never wavered, and I will never stop being a part of this incredible community we have grown. Thank you to the hundreds and thousands of fans I have gotten to meet and talk to over the last 24 years. Your energy, creativity, and support have been such a big part of my journey. I look forward to experiencing the next part of the adventure alongside you. Working with the amazing people, teams, and studios at Bethesda has been the greatest experience of my life. I'm incredibly proud of everything we've done together, and I'm genuinely excited to see the amazing things they will create next. Love you guys, Pete. And then there was a follow-up send-off from Bethesda that says, to whom it may concern, please excuse Pete Hines from work. After devoting so much of his time, love, and care to Bethesda, we are prescribing him ongoing treatment in the form of the following. Lots of gaming, devoting care and affection to foster pups and keeping a few, card collecting in all forms, MLS, USA, MTG, having fun with friends in the community, and of course, more games. Signed, Bethesda. So this annoys me to no end.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like what a coincidental time to quit, right? Starfield comes out, it's proven that Codic's not going anywhere, and now he's like, you know what? Peace. And to me, this is one of those, like, it could be nothing at all. To be fair, I'm just talking shit here. I know nothing. It could be nothing at all, but this reminds me of I can't remember. But this okay, so I'll just give you an example. This reminds me of one of those scenarios where it's like you're in a company and the company has done something that you don't like. So as soon as it's over, you're just like, all right, it was great, but it's time for me to go. But we all know that it's because like you don't believe in what the company's doing, but you can't say that. So you just have to like exit on your own. And then the follow-up is just like, oh no, yeah, he loved it here, we love you, but you know, we understand you gotta go, so good luck, go have all the fun playing the games. That is 100% what this seems like to me. It seems like he was done with the way things were working out. He didn't like it. You know, we had an issue with where the Redfall devs were all just like, look, we got bought out. This is not what we planned. We didn't want to put this game out the way it was. We were kind of forced into it. Xbox didn't help us at all. And now look at how the game is. And then you have Starfield come out and it's like, okay, it's okay. It's not what we wanted to put out. It's not exactly what it should have been, but it's good enough to go. You know, people are already over it. I think it's time for me to leave too. And now we have Kotick coming in and like he's staying. Pete Hines, who's been there for 24 years, is out. And they make this cheeky little "we love you" goodbye thing, and it just like it all just seems like there's an undertone of something that we don't know happening that caused this, and that's just me speculating. Allegedly, I have no idea. He could have just been like, "All right, our big game is done. I'm out. Good luck." That could very well have been the end of that. But I don't know. I just don't like the way it happened.
Yeah, it just seems it does seem a bit cloak and dagger, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Like, what
The
timing?
I mean,
like
exactly. The timing is what gets me. Just like now, like
Starfield's been out for what, a month already or more?
Yeah, about a month now. About a month, because it came out like mid to late September. So yeah, about a month.
No, it came out September 6th. It's been over a month.
So yeah, we're a little over a month, about a month and a half out from it. Yeah, it just seems like it just seems like, oh, maybe weird is not the right word, but the timing is just very interesting. And yeah, that follow message, I just find it hilarious. It's just
it so much.
I just,
it seems like quality control to me.
It really did, and that's why I found it funny. Honestly, just like, I don't know if this was like another company that, like, if someone at, like, I don't know, like someone from Nintendo posted, like, was leaving, and then they posted that, like, I think it would feel genuine.
Yeah,
it would seem sincere and genuine. Yeah, like let's say Doug Bowser was on his way out, then for just because the man just wanted to retire and play more games, or something like that would have been cool. But like, yeah, you can't ignore the elephant in the room. You can't ignore the signs. You're just looking at what it is, and it's exactly as you said. Like, I don't really have too much to add, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think you summed it up pretty well. Just like, yeah, I just can't not believe there's not something else going in the beneath the surface of what's going on here.
It just seems so sus. Like, the timing, the message, it all just seems so suspicious. But yeah, I'm tired. So we have nothing else. I think we're good. I feel like that just stressed me out and drained me more than it needed to. I'm very annoyed by that. So let's go out on a positive note. Thank you, Brandon, for being here. It was a great time, as usual.
Absolutely.
Talking to Brand the man. You guys don't forget to check out his streams. How often are you doing them? Weekly, correct?
Well, I try to do them like I full disclosure, as a week of this, but whenever this podcast is recording, I'm not doing as many because I'm trying to finish a few games before Spider-Man 2 and Mario Wonder comes out. I will be doing a stream of Mario Wonder, but I am averaging 2 to 3 streams a week. And since we're kind of like we're doing more consistently on Mondays, I'm going to be streaming more consistently on Wednesdays now. And I think Wednesday is the only consistent day I can really commit to at this time, because my life is going through all kinds of changes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out some stuff on the stream side, but I am at least going to try to get streams consistently out on Wednesdays, following the week of Mario Wonder and Spider-Man 2. So you can look forward to that. But otherwise, check out my socials for details, because I will be posting when I do go live.
And you guys will also hear all about our choices for Game of the Year, what we're looking at, what we're considering. We're going to have a great conversation on some of the games that you definitely should check out if you haven't this year, because we think they're the best of the best. So that's going to be really fun, really exciting. Look out for our Game of the Year conversation. Coming up soon-ish, probably in a month. We'll see how that works out. We're also going to try to get a little bit more I'm going to try to get a little bit more consistent to the podcast. Thank you everyone who's still watching us. You know, I always think, you know, sometimes we have to take time off for this or that, or, you know, things come up or we have to talk about things and meet up, but it's been like, what, 3 years, I think? And we're still,
we're still 3 years consistent. Yes.
And we're still getting more views. Like, and I was like, thank you guys so much. So thanks for hanging out with us.
Yes.
Totally appreciate it.
Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks for being patient with us, because we do have to take breaks sometimes because of life. Because, you know, if you're an adult, you know that life do be happening sometimes. Yeah. But thank you for being patient. And if you really enjoy this podcast, tell a few friends about us.
Yes.
We'd love to hear some more thoughts about our thoughts on games and what you are all thinking about the stuff that happens as well. Tell us what you guys are playing. We'd like to hear what you're playing as well. You know, we want to hear all of it.
And also, you know, I know we haven't been on Twitch lately. We've been having some issues with the streaming side of things. So thank you guys for still watching. Even if it's not on Twitch, you guys are still watching us on YouTube and listening. So thank you for that. We're going to try to get back on Twitch so we can have some more chat interaction, because that's always fun. And I've talked too much. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Peace, everyone.